Hi, okay, first question. What is environmental education? Um, I think environmental education has to do with the first thing you should think about is why choose that location. And so for me, I think environment, the nature, the aspect of that can really help my personal demographic that I tend to work with, which is marginalized or underserved youth populations. So these are predominantly students from the LA area or greater LA area. And I think that the primary thing that I think about is what they can get from that. And for me, it's exposure to something different, to something getting them out of their element, pun intended, and really showing them something new in that aspect. And that's the first thing, that's the first layer. And then my outcome is always that it is, well, it should be anything that they really want to get out of it. But for me, it's showing them the strength or something in themselves that they hadn't necessarily seen before. So if they, for example, are coming from LA, they live in concrete jungle, really urban or suburban areas, and then we take them into Colorado, for example, or I worked at a farm in Mendocino, and we really take them out of their element. What is something new that they see in the environment around them that they didn't previously know? And then what is, in turn, like a mirror, what is something previously unknown within themselves, and how they can grow from that? I really like believing that we are what we see. So if we see something great and beautiful in nature, then likewise we can see something great and beautiful in ourselves. And the same can be said with the environment that they live in already. And so if they don't see the difference between, or if now they can look and find the beauty in the nature, then that can give them some hope and positivity. There's been a lot of studies about how nature impacts us, people in hospital rooms, how they have a speedy recovery when they have access to a view of a tree or a park, and all of these really great things that the environment can give us, that nature can give us. Let's see. I think it can be effective. It depends on your group. So with me, I believe that it can be effective within those parameters. So if you set up the parameters properly of what you want the outcome to be. So for me, because I want the students to have this outcome of self-reflection, knowing themselves differently, and then also just exposure to something new and something different. The outdoors is and is not for everybody. It depends on their perspective. But if you get somebody to just go to their edge of their comfort zone and then a step beyond that, what does that look like? What is now possible? So the possibilities become then limitless. Because we are only limited by ourselves. So once that understanding is made clear, then what other outcomes you want and how effective it is, that is the correlation between those. I don't know if that's confusing or not, but that's how I see it. Let's see. Well, I think it can look like whatever you want it to look like. You don't necessarily need to go far and wide for this. There have been a lot of big developments in the Los Angeles area with urban gardens and urban centers bringing the nature back, so we have more of a connection to where our food comes from. And our imprint on the world at large, how much trash we make, what we do with the trash, the composting, the recycling, and all of these things, the responsibilities. So I just think that it's, for me, it's really all about intention. And what is the intention behind any education program? And then beyond that, what's the intention behind an environmental program? And so for me, I think if we start with intention, what do we want the students to get out of it? For me, I love for them to get exposure, self-growth, and then seeing the possibilities within the earth, the world, and then themselves, and being able to create the environment in the literal and in the figurative of the world that they want to see for themselves. For me, that's really what I think an effective program looks like if you start with the beginning of intention and then go from there. And whenever I'm in any sort of program like that, I think of it like as an hors d'oeuvre. And it's just a sampling, depending on obviously how long the program is, but it's just a sampling. You want them to try as many new and different things as possible, because you never know what thing might reach their hearts or their minds, or their awaken a spirit. And that's largely up to them, but it's up to the teachers, the educators, the staff on how we present these hors d'oeuvres to them, so to speak. So if we present them to them in a way that is appetizing, we could have like mushroom caps or something, and then somebody might say like, it's just fungus on a plate, and that might appeal to some people, like, oh, fungus, okay. Or somebody could be like, well, it's just a mushroom. Or somebody else could be like, we have these amazing fresh picked mushrooms, and we put like Gouda cheese and whatever else, and they were sauteed with garlic and onions and wrapped in kale, I don't know. And whatever it is to make it sound appetizing for your audience. In this case, for me, it's marginalized youth, so I might not pick stuffed mushrooms, but you get the analogy just the same. So it's up to us as educators to have this be as most appealing as possible, creating a safe environment for them physically so that they can also feel safe emotionally. And then within that, through those layers, we're making trust accessible so that whatever they're feeling inside can be expressed without fear of judgment or ridicule. And that's the most important thing for me when I bring urban youth to an nature outdoor education type of environment, that they feel like this is something that is possible. This is not something that I see in a film that is not me, not relatable to me, but this is something that potentially I could do. I could be in education, I can be in forestry, I can be in whatever I want. It's just this door to unlimited possibilities. I hope that helps you, Katie. Miss you, haven't seen you in a while. I know I rambled, but I hope it gave you some good stuff. And let me know if I missed anything or any of your questions. And this is my room. Bye.